crafty friends, it's me, and I am back to show you how to create your own stencil using some vellum I have here. I trimmed it to 6 inches wide. I have these two dies I'm going to be used to create my stencil, and also this big cover plate die from Catherine Pooler. So I'm just grabbing my card bases that I cut out using my brand new card sentiment dies. I used my A2 liner, but this can definitely be used for the front of my card, which is what I'm going to do. So I have these 3 colors here. First, I'm going to start out with the cover plate, the Belly Laughs from Catherine Pooler. I love this cover plate. It's obviously perfect to use as an actual die cut, but here I'm going to show you how you can translate this into a stencil. So I'm just running it through my die cutting machine twice. Since it's vellum, it's a little bit thicker, and that's the reason also I'm using the vellum to create this stencil. I'm just going to poke out all these holes here, is that it makes it a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit easier to, as far as like sturdiness is concerned. So that's going to look good on there. I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to work on my other stencil here. So this is a different take. I'm actually going to cut out this bat. I really wanted a bat stencil and I didn't have one, but I have this really cute bat die cut from Photoplay, and I'm just going to go along and make my own pattern with this one single die. If you have other bat dies or other similar dies, like for example, you could do this with a bunch of flowers. You could do this with any type of design dies that you have that are smaller. You could do circles. You can do all kinds of different things. This is what I love about this technique. And then you have all these cute little vellum bats later that you can use. So here's my stencil, and I might do a couple more cuts, but let's see. I actually want to do kind of like a layered stencil. So I am going to add a couple more bats here. But in some of the spaces, I think what I'm going to do is also cut another sheet of vellum with some stars. So here's my bats. That looks good. That's nice and full. I love that. So let's do kind of a layered stencil. So now I'm grabbing my second sheet of vellum and I'm placing it on top of my bats here. And then I'm just going to slip the bat one off, and there we go. Cut exactly where that empty space is where I'd like that star. So I'm going through and just doing that same technique with each spot that I'm finding that's a little bit empty that I may want a star. So just placing the bat stencil underneath the star one, and then removing it before I die cut out that star, just to make sure that it's in the exact right place before I cut it out. And this is such a fun technique too. I mean, you could obviously make a full star stencil. Another fun one would be a snowflake one. I have the different size snowflakes, which would be perfect because then you wouldn't have to do them all individually. So that's looking good. That lines up well. So here I'm going to grab my Misty, and I have my sticky mat with my white cardstock down first, and I'm going to do my Ho Ho Ho, my Belly Laughs cover plate one. This one's a little more tricky because it is the exact size here. So I'm just finding a couple little overlaps and taping so that my vellum doesn't lift up. And I'm grabbing some cotton candy pink here and some Samba. I really love a nice pink, kind of non-traditional type Christmas card, and just making sure my center there is staying nice and flat. It's doing really well, and then you just stencil it on like you would any other stencil. I really love this technique. I mean, you could do this with any die basically that you have, and I just think it's such a versatile way to use your dies. And not only that, but with doing this, you could definitely reuse your vellum as a stencil, but you could also use the vellum that you have ink blended here. So let me show you. Ooh, look at that pretty reveal. I love this. Oh, it looks so cool. I love that look. But you could use this vellum separately. I love that. So you have these two separate things. It looks awesome and perfect for cards. And so let's do the bat one. I have some gray cardstock here. I'm going to start with my bats because it's my first layer. This looks pretty cool. I'm excited for this one because of Halloween, and we're in October here, and it's just my favorite month. And I didn't have a bat stencil, and I thought, well, I guess I could buy one, and there are really cute ones out there, and you know, maybe even more intricate type ones, but I felt like this was super fun to do, and I just really love this. So I grabbed some sugared lavender, and I'm doing some purple with the bats here. I really wanted them to be purple, and I grabbed some mica, so I'm just spraying that on and then dabbing it off with a paper towel. So the mica spray did add a little bit of wetness to this vellum and to my paper, but I'm good with that. It looks great. I think the other fun thing about doing this, creating your own stencil, is just it adds so much creativity. Like imagine you could do whatever images you want on a stencil. I liked using the vellum here because I just felt like it was a little sturdier. I know Sizzix actually sells a certain sheets, I think, that are made to do this. So I'm going to look at that too and probably link it for you. But look how cool this works with vellum. Voila! Isn't that cool? I'm going to do one more star here in the corner. There we go, and look at that. Awesome. So there's my bats with the mica. It looks really good. And then the stars. And here are my stencils. And this was just using 2 dies. That's it. And I just did a repeated pattern with that. And then also using the cover plate. So that's it. That's how you use your dies to make stencils. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.